You're trying to build something, a business, a ministry, a new life, freedom from debt, your calling. But every time you pick up a tool to build, you have to put down a sword to fight. And every time you pick up a sword to fight, you stop building. The attack comes from the left, distractions from the right, financial pressure from behind, discouragement from within. You're exhausted because it feels like you're either building poorly or fighting poorly, but you can't seem to do both well. So, if that's you today, I have good news. There's a man in the Bible who faced the exact same problem. His name is Nehemiah. And he built a wall around Jerusalem in 52 days while surrounded by enemies who wanted him dead. He didn't do it by working harder. He didn't do it by ignoring the threats. He did it by mastering something I call the Nehemiah Method, a biblical blueprint for building your future while battling your present. I teach believers how to move from purpose to prosperity. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact method Nehemiah used so you can stop burning out and start advancing. To begin, let's set the scene. Nehemiah 4. The Jews are doing something unprecedented. They're building walls, the walls of Jerusalem, from rubble. And this isn't just construction. It's an act that's prophetic. It's a declaration that God's people are back, that Jerusalem will stand, that the exile is ending. But every stone they lay attracts enemies. Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabians, the Ammonites. They mock, they conspire, they threaten violence. They don't want this wall built because a strong Jerusalem threatens their power. Verse 8 says, and conspired all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. So here's the problem Nehemiah faced. And it's exactly your problem. The very act of building your future threatens the forces that want you stuck. When you start walking in your purpose, when you start building your business, when you start making moves towards freedom, you will attract opposition. Not because you're doing something wrong, because you're doing something right. The enemy of your soul doesn't care if you're religious. He cares if you're building. A passive believer is no threat, a builder is. This is why in Purpose to Prosperity, we don't just teach you how to build a business. I prepare you for the opposition that comes with it. Because if you're not ready for the battle, you'll abandon the build. So what did Nehemiah do when the threats came? Most people would do one of two things. Stop building and focus on fighting. Ignore fighting and hope it goes away. Nehemiah did neither. In verse 9, nevertheless, we made our prayer unto God, and set a watch against them day and night. Two things at once: prayer and preparation, faith and strategy, heaven and earth. He didn't just say, let's just pray and God will protect us. He prayed and set a watch. He didn't say, forget prayer, we need weapons. He prayed first, then set the watch. This is the first principle of the Nehemiah Method. Dual action. You don't choose between spiritual and practical. You do both. In your life, this looks like praying over your business and doing market research, seeking God for your purpose and taking the skills assessment, trusting God for provision and cutting your expenses, believing for breakthrough and creating content schedules. Most people fail because they're unbalanced. They're either all prayer or no hustle. Nehemiah shows us the third way: praying like it depends on God and working like it depends on you. Now, we come to the famous verse in the story, Nehemiah 4:17-18. They which builded on the wall, and they that bear burdens, with those that laded, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon for the builders. Every one had his sword girded by his side, and so builded. This is the image I want seared into your mind. Every builder had a sword. Every fighter had a troll. They didn't have specialists. Some people who build and some people who fight. Everyone did both, because everyone was a target. Everyone had something to protect. Everyone had something to build. This is the Nehemiah Method in practice. Integrated readiness. You don't get to say, I'm a builder, not a fighter. If you're building anything for the kingdom, you're a fighter too. You don't get to say, I'm a warrior, not a builder. If you're fighting without building, you're just causing noise. In Purpose to Prosperity, we teach you to build your business while strengthening your spiritual armor. The two aren't separate. Your business is your ministry. Your content is your weapon. Your income is your ammunition for the kingdom. The sword and the troll together, always together. Here is the part that most people miss. In verse 18-20. And he that sounded the trumpet was by me. For I said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated upon the wall, one far from another. In what place therefore you hear the sound of the trumpet, resort ye thither unto us. Our God shall fight for us. Nehemiah placed a trumpet player next to him, and he told the people, when you hear the trumpet come, that's where the battle is. But until you hear it, keep building. This is genius. It means not every noise is a battle. Don't drop your troll for every distraction. When the real battle comes, there's a signal. You'll know. And when you hear it, you drop everything and go help your brother. You need a trumpet. You need someone in your life who can discern the difference between a real threat and a distraction. Someone who sounds the alarm when it's time to fight and who keeps building when it's just noise. In Purpose to Prosperity, I'm your trumpet for 10 weeks. I help you to discern what's a battle worth fighting and what's a distraction from the build. And beyond that, you gain a community of builders who sound the trumpet for each other. Verse 15. And it came to pass that when the enemies heard that it was known unto us, and God had brought their counsel to naught, that we returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. Look at that last phrase. Everyone unto his work. The enemies didn't win. The threats didn't stop them. They returned to the wall. They kept building. And verse 6 tells us, so built we the wall, and the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work. So the wall went up not because there were no enemies, not because the battle stopped, but because the people learned to build and fight at the same time. That's the promise of the Nehemiah Method. Your wall will go up, your business will grow, your freedom will come. Not when the fighting stops, but when you learn to build through it. So let me ask you, what's your wall? What is God calling you to build right now? And more importantly, who's your trumpet? Who's watching your back? Who's sounding the alarm when the real battle comes? You were not meant to build alone. Nehemiah had nobles, rulers, builders, burden bearers, and a trumpet player. You need the same. So, this week, I want you to do 3 things. 1, name your wall. Comment below. My wall is. It could be a business, a ministry, a move, freedom from debt. Write it and claim it. 2, find your trumpet. Who in your life can help you discern the battle from distraction? If you don't have a person, join the community of builders. That's what Purpose to Prosperity is. A band of brothers and sisters with swords in one hand and trolls in the other. And 3, sound the trumpet for someone else. Share this video with a builder who needs to hear it. Tell them it's time to build together.